Hello, everyone. I am here with Megan McReynolds and Jacob Miller, who are candidates for President and Vice President for Associated Student Government. And I'm going to be asking them some of your questions to get to know a little bit about them. All right, so I guess the first thing we wanted to know was just a little bit about you, what academic year you are, why you chose to come to Emporia State, and why you're running.
Great. So my name's Megan McReynolds. Like you mentioned, I'm actually a sophomore right now because I did change my major from communication to sociology. I've always had the same kind of passion, but just went about it a different way. So that's where I'm at right now. Jacob, you want to go?
Yeah, I'm Jacob Miller. I am a freshman communication major. I've always loved interacting with people, so that's what kind of made me choose to go with the communication route.
Yeah. I personally came to ESU. I'm from Lawrence, Kansas, which is a college town of the Jayhawks, in case you don't know. But I chose ESU because after experiencing that atmosphere for most of my life, I realized that the big school can be pretty impersonal sometimes, and what I was looking for was a lot of student engagement and interaction. So that professor to student ratio was really appealing to me, and I just fell in love with the people here, honestly. So that's kind of my reason.
I chose to come to ESU because it was just far away enough from home to where my parents don't have to bother me all the time.
Yeah.
But it was also close enough to where I could go home if I really needed to. And also, when I came to visit, I felt a really close connection to the other students, like the ambassadors that were giving us tours, and some of the professors that spoke. So it was just a really homey feel, and I really appreciated that. So that's why I chose to come to Emporia State.
Yeah. Well, I can speak for myself. I don't want to speak for you, Jacob, but I chose to run for ASG president because after observing ASG for a couple of years, I kind of saw, what could be improved, some of the holes, if you will, in our system currently in our communication with the students. And I think that there are tangible ways that could be created and means to fix those issues. And honestly, I just love students, so I want everyone's experience to be the best here at ESU, and I thought that ASG would be a good outlet.
Yeah, so I chose to run when Megan approached me. I thought about it for a while, and I decided to because, as a freshman, I feel like I can bring a lot of fresh new ideas to the table, and also just because of what I've experienced so far on campus, I feel like there's a lot of things that I've seen that could be improved just from my year. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of cool opportunities from being in that position.
Okay. So obviously a big component, especially of Scala and SLIM, but also some other graduate programs on campus, is that we have a lot of distance members. We also have a lot of students that may live in Emporia, but they work either full-time jobs or long part-time jobs off campus. And so because of that, they're not able to be a part of the traditional activities that go on campus, and they don't feel as comfortable with staying in the loop and knowing everything that's going on campus. Yeah. So what are some solutions that you foresee implementing to reach out to them and give them more opportunities to feel like they're part of the campus?
Yeah, so one of our big things is that we want to create a PR position, so we can fix some of the problems that we have with our ASG site. So one of the things is really making one central location to really have everybody be able to go to that place online and have their part on campus, even if they don't necessarily live on campus. So that's something that's really important to us, is having one centralized spot online to where even distant students can participate.
Yeah, even to go deeper into that, especially when you're, at a distance, you're doing things like jobs, like you mentioned, and being able to concisely and clearly find the answer you need within a moment's time without having to dig and email people. That's kind of one of our biggest things, is clarity and communication. So by creating that PR chair where you'd have a website where you see the how to, get allocations, how to become an RSO, how you can meet all those needs in one location, or even just having a calendar where you can see what's going on ESU's campus here in Emporia, and then kind of you could get reports on how that went. So that's what we're thinking there.
Great, thank you. So a big problem that we've run into with Scala this year, and one that I'm sure is shared by some other organizations on campus, is regarding funding, especially for regional allocations, but also national allocations for conferences. Now, I'm not expecting like a really extravagant solution, beautiful solution to that, but what kinds of things could you foresee doing that might be able to help us navigate that at least?
So, like we kind of mentioned earlier with you, but just to repeat, you know, when it comes to allocations and conferences, there's not one model that fits all. So, kind of one of the things that we've talked about is being able to create a way that, there are loopholes, there are exceptions to this rule, and clearly this is one of them. So, our promise that we can make to you is that we would work to find a solution to this. And I think that it's something that kind of gets thrown under the rug, people kind of brush it off, but if we can actively work with, it all starts from the top down. So if we can work with the administration to find a way that we can meet this exception without making it a rule that other organizations are kind of upset about, that's our goal. So yeah, we don't have a fancy answer for you just because we can't work to find that answer until, we are elected if we are. So that's how, yeah.
Another problem that we've run into this year is there can be inconsistent governance of student organizations. For example, the treasurer position last year, we did not have the best person in that position, so we lose a lot of financial records and we lose a lot of those guides and things that student government gives us.
Okay.
So something that we would appreciate as an organization is some kind of improved financial guides, something to tell us how to navigate what is okay and what is not okay when in regards to fundraising and how we spend our funds, and also what kinds of tax statuses we have. So what are the rules regarding charitable giving from businesses and Emporia to our organization? That very well may be out there, but we don't know how to access it. We don't have records if that was sent out in paper form in the past. So what would you guys do to kind of improve access to that kind of information?
Yeah, okay, perfect. So just to make sure I'm kind of understanding, it's your financial guides within your organization specifically that you need clarity?
Not in our organization specifically. I was just using that as a general
example. Okay.
Because our records were pretty bad.
That's okay. That's okay. We all have it.
I'm just saying in general.
Yeah. Okay.
Like we don't have any clue what the university's rules are regarding what is and is not okay with fundraising. For example, there's like the Amazon partnerships where you get a link.
Yes,
you can click on that link, and then if you buy something through there, it goes to your organization.
Absolutely.
I've tried for the last several months to try to contact people and around the haven't got an answer as to whether or not that's okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
I'm thinking,
yeah.
What would you guys do to kind of promote better
that.
Communication?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so right now, as far as what we know from working with Shelby Martin, I don't know if you talked to her at all, but there is no cap on fundraising or the means to get that. So basically, any organization can go to a company, a business here in Emporia, and get the funds you need, and that's totally separate from ASG itself. As far as ASG interaction with that fundraising, that's an interesting question that you bring up, and I would like to get more information on it to give you that answer as far as tax statuses, because I don't want to give you incorrect information. Because to be quite frank, that's not something that a lot of organizations have brought up, but it's like a perfect question to ask. So yeah, if we could work in conjunction with the current, some of the current senators, that might be able to answer that a little better. But as far as fundraising, you don't have any cap on it.
Definitely a great thing to look into.
This is a question I added just because I'm interested. I noticed though, maybe this was last year coming into this year, but I noticed it in emails that there was some legislation, I guess, passed in ASG regarding tobacco and also the gun legislation on campus. I'm just wondering what your personal opinions are of that ruling.
So as for the tobacco initiative, I know that's something that's been worked on the past couple of years, and that's something that I think we're both, if I can speak for you as well, we're both pretty excited to keep working on. I think we both love to promote a healthy lifestyle for campus, but also hearing everyone's opinions on it. There's always going to be different takes on what that's going to bring. But yeah, so I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And to speak to your Guns on Campus, well, the email you received was actually a resolution. So the resolution didn't actually do anything, if you will. It was just kind of a statement saying that according to the knowledge that the current administration for ASG has received, they didn't feel that our students would support Guns on Campus. So that's what the resolution said. As far as our opinions on it, it's out of our hands.
Yeah,
so for us to spend our time, trying to get rid of it or implement it, we just want to make sure our students are safe. So it is what it is. How can we make it, include it into our university in a safe manner where people feel like they can go to class and speak up in class, because I know that's one of the concerns we've heard over and over again. I think that they're kind of bigger fish to fry in some ways, as far as what we can do to make students feel more at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate your clarification on that.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people were confused, so you're not the first
Yeah,
one.
it is. It's just something. It's not something you really look close at, because it's just something that they pin to the top of your email, and you see this resolution,
exactly.
whatever, and
you're like,
just
I didn't vote on
casually.
this.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, just a couple more questions.
Yeah.
I guess one thing that we would like to see more of is both increased communication between the student government and student organizations. I know there's ways to contact student government, but I feel like it's not the most accessible thing to contact right now. And also between student organizations, making it easier, whether that's creating a directory or something that's very easily accessible, some way to increase communication between all these different organizations on campus. What's your opinion on something like that?
So one of the key things we're really focusing on is communication. I know I'm a little biased because I'm a communication major. Yeah, I know. So but that's gonna be huge with the changes we're hoping to make if elected to the website. So we think that having a new and improved central location, like we mentioned earlier, is really gonna help the communication between not only ASG and other RSOs and student organizations, but also the interaction of RSOs with other RSOs.
Also, originally ASG is supposed to be here to represent the students, right? Well, if we're not doing a good job where you don't feel like you can come to us, or you don't even know who your college representative is, we're not doing a good job as senators and as ASG. So, as far as that central communication goes, additionally, we would like to hold town hall meetings with the colleges, with the senators, because, last week someone came to me and said, am I allowed to voice my concerns to my senator? And I was like, that's so sad you don't know that. We're already a year into this. You need to know that. So.
And I think everyone we've asked, every RSO that we've been to, we've asked certain people well, do you know who represents you? And they don't know, which is something that isn't very acceptable for associated student government.
And one of the exciting things is, if we're elected, which we hope we are, Jacob would get to create a calendar. And we've also talked about creating a directory, like you mentioned, of contact people, which, it's always a little tricky because people don't really like Hornet Life and updating their RSO on it. But, that's something we've talked about and would love to, work on if that's something that you guys are interested in. Yeah.
All right, last question. Just in general, I suppose, what sorts of events would you like to see brought to campus? What sorts of events would you support bringing to campus in this coming academic year?
Okay, cool. So, basically, we support all events, and I know that sounds so cheesy and we're just making crap up, right? But honestly, one of the things that is kind of a signal that we're doing a good job is if students feel like they can host events on campus and get people to come is one of the biggest ones. So on this website, we've talked about creating this calendar, which I think I mentioned earlier, where students can send in events that they're hosting. So everything is centralized on this calendar that you'd be able to see what's happening. So we support events going on there. Is there anything else you want to add about it?
All right. You got any other comments you want to share?
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for listening if you've made it this far. And we really hope you vote McReynolds Miller next Tuesday through Thursday. But we really appreciate your time.
And where can they vote if they are off campus?
Yes.
You can go onto Hornet Life all the way through from the 11th through the 13th.
Yeah, you'll receive an email saying, "Hey, vote," and you're not going to ignore that one. That's where we are. So that's where you'll find
Not
us.
just any typical Emporia State email.
Yes.
But
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
you.
Thank you, guys.